刘培元的英文教室经典演说篇，我们是回顾啊，这第118集，我们回顾啊第8到10集，因为前面8到10集我们都把英文的意思啊，还有引申的啊都讲清楚，这边只是回顾啊，念一下啊，所以当作听力练习，你可以跟着一起念。你也可以一边看字，或者不念，一边看字一边听，或者是什么字也不看，就纯粹训练听力啊。我们来念一下啊，这是马丁·路德·金啊，美国黑人民权运动领袖的经典演说。I have a dream, and happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.For 20 years ago, the great American and whose symbolic shadow which then today signed an Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree can as a great beacon light a hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It can as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity.But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the corners of American society.He finds himself exiled in his own land. So we have come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we have come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, to assign a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir.This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America is defaulted under its promissory note insofar as citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring the sacred obligation, America has given Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that bank of justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vast opportunity of this nation. So we have come to cash a check that will give us the power to demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to the hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency now. This is no time to engage in luxury, cooling off, or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make injustice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for a nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. The sweltering summer of Negroes' legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating ardor of freedom and equality.1963 is not the end, but the beginning. This would hope the Negro needed to blow off steam and will not be content will have a rude awakening. A nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until Negroes granted his citizenship rights.The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of the nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the worn threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggles on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate as physical violence. Again and again we must rise to the majestic heights, meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to distrust the white people. But many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny, and their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. As we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and hotels and the cities. We can never be satisfied as long as Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You've been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that the earned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can anywhere be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold the truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day at the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with his vicious racist, with the governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls, sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain. A And the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and no flesh shall see together. This is our hope. This is the faith that goes back to the southwest. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out of the mountains of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangling discourse of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With the faith, we'll be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we'll be free one day. This will be the day when all the God children will be able to sing with a new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers die, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let the freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom reign from the Portage's hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom reign from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom reign from the hiding Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let the freedom reign from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let the freedom reign from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let the freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let the freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let the freedom reign from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom reign. And when this happens, when we allow the freedom to reign, when we let it reign from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we'll be able to speed up the day when other God children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. 这边是经典的演说啊，你也可以回放啊，这边非常经典。好，我有15个频道啊 ，YouTube 有15个，麻烦你15个啊，全部按订阅啊，这表示回馈我一下啊。这集讲这里。